you can. I hope you guys have a notepad and pen. Very, very important. We always say in Asia, out of Asia, the note takers are the money makers. So guys, on that note, I'm just going to hand it over to him. I mean, I don't have to say too much. He will speak for himself. One of the best at what we do, definitely network marketing industry. So I'll just make you the host, Ali, and you can take it from there, guys. Over to you, buddy. Yeah, you're the host. You can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Can you guys hear me? All right, brilliant, brilliant, fantastic. Well, guys, thank you so much for all attending this call. Abdurrahman, thanks very much for getting this set up. It's a pleasure to be on call with each and every single one of you. I know you guys out there in Sri Lanka are doing some incredible work. You know, I definitely see you guys getting promoted. You know, there's always someone new out there hitting ranks. I believe there's a new Platinum 2000 over there, right, in Sri Lanka. So congratulations. Now, for those of you that don't know me, guys, just to introduce myself to you briefly, my name is Ali. I'm 23 at the moment. I got started in iMarkets Live in the summer of 2017. You know, prior to getting involved in this company, my initial plan was to go to university and study dentistry. Okay, that was 5 years ago. It wasn't something I was passionate about, but back then I was confused. You know, I didn't know what to do career-wise. So I sort of applied for it for the sake of doing it. But something told me to hold back and to really rethink my decision. So I took a gap year. And in that gap year, I worked at many different places. I had different jobs. But I was never really content with the whole concept of working 9 to 5, you know, trading time for money. I've always believed that there were more efficient ways out there of making money, especially now that we have the internet. You know, so I'm very aware of what's happening around me. And so what I decided to do was start buying books on successful people. I started going online, you know, watching some of the highest performers, you know, in several different industries, and just really picking their brains. And one thing that I discovered was that successful people get paid on their skill, not their time. You know, there's nothing wrong with trading time for money, but it's just a very slow way of attaining wealth, right? There's much more effective ways of doing it. So, you know, what I decided to do in that gap year was to not go ahead with my university decision. I decided to essentially drop out and continue working as I was looking for an opportunity. And, you know, I tried many things over the last few years. Some things were good, some things weren't. But my breakthrough really happened when I got started in iMarkets Live, and that was June 2017. And boy, oh boy, did it come at a perfect time. You know, I was actually at a very low point in my life financially, and I didn't know what to do next. And so when I saw the whole system, I was like, wow, this is incredible. I was blown away. You know, a company that enables people to acquire a skill that will essentially feed them for the rest of their life. You know, what I love about trading is that you control your income. No one writes the check for you. You write your own check. And it's the same with network marketing. You know, no one's telling you, hey, slow down there, buddy. You can't be making more than me, right? There's unlimited earning potential when you think about it, right? And so I love that, because when I used to work, you know, several jobs, I was quite good at what I did, but I was capped to how much I was making. I was selling a lot in some of the jobs that I had, but once again, I was on a salary, I was on a wage. So no matter how hard I performed, I was going to continue earning the same income. So, you know, iMarkets Live has been an incredible blessing. You know, I got started in this, and you know, I really am grateful for the opportunity that I have here. We've changed a lot of lives all across the world. And that's the beautiful thing about this. It's not just about the money. You know, you can impact someone's life who maybe you've never met before. And that's the incredible thing about this, right? So it's very rewarding. And as Zig Ziglar says, one of the greatest in the personal development space, if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want, right? So really, that's the sweetness that comes from being in network marketing. And that's why no matter, you can take me out of network marketing, but you can't take network marketing out of me, right? I am born, you know, to do this profession, and I will die doing this profession. That's the kind of guy that I am, right? Because I love it. I enjoy it, right? So guys, what I'm going to talk about today is DMOs, okay? Daily method operation. And I like, you know, making some nice slides. So let me just quickly share my screen. Bear with me. Okay. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that? Yeah. All right. Fantastic. So having a daily method of operation. This is something that very few people really touch on, but I think it's absolutely crucial. You need to have a structure to your day, because if you're just waking up praying that, you know, someone's going to join or you're going to get a breakthrough, you might as well not be doing this. I'll be honest with you. You know, that's like going to the gym and not really knowing what you're doing. You're just running around, you know, you pick one weight up, you put it down, you know, you're not really going to progress this way. You need to be very clear on what you're doing every single day, because I'll tell you what, you can't get to 6 figures accidentally, right? You can't get to 7 figures by accident. You're not going to slip up and, oh, I've made 6 figures. It doesn't work this way. You need to be very, very clear with what you're doing day to day. So guys, listen, you can't leave your success to chance this year, because one of the biggest mistakes, and I see this all the time of people in this profession, is, like I said, they sort of just wake up and, you know, let's see what happens, right? They're going with the flow. And this way, nothing's going to happen, guys. Like, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be, you know, really bothered. So you need to really know what you're going to be doing day to day. Now, before I really get into the DMOs, I want to go through, you know, the 4 stages that occur in your network marketing career. And this happens to us, every single one of us. Doesn't matter what rank you are or how much you're making. Sometimes all these phases happen all in one day. So let me start off with phase 1, right? Phase 1, guys, is the most active phase of your network marketing career. That's when you're, you know, attaining success. That's when things are happening. And usually when you first start off, okay, even though you don't really know what you're saying in the beginning, you know, you're brand new, because you're just so excited and you see the 3 bring 3, and all of a sudden you're making 50 grand a month and you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. I'm going to tell every single person I know about this. That's the phase where you're most successful. That's when you have most momentum, when you're just so excited and you're enthusiastic and you're urgent. That's when things start happening. But you see, what a lot of us do wrong is we start moving into phase 2 when things start slowing down. And this happens to all of us, right? Momentum goes up and down. When things start slowing down, we start analyzing. We're thinking, hang on a second, why have things slowed down? There must be a reason as to why things are slowing down. Okay, maybe it's the slides that we're using. Maybe the script that we're using doesn't work with our people. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And you start coming up with reasons. And when you're coming up with reasons, that's taken away from the time that you could be getting stuff done. Okay, when you're thinking, you're not productive. Okay, when you're analyzing, you're not productive. The only way you're productive is by going out there and making calls and presenting. That's the most productive phase to be in, and that's why we call it phase 1. Now, after phase 2, unfortunately, it carries on. If you don't snap out of phase 2 and get back into phase 1, you're going to continue going down the phases. And phase 3 is a very common phase, which unfortunately a lot of people are in. And that's when you're in the management phase. Okay, that's when you start calling up your team members. And come on, every single one of you here have done this before. I have as well. Okay, no one's innocent. But you start calling up your team. Hey, how you doing today? You know, what have you done? Who have you presented to? Or, you know, you just catch up on a few things. Okay, you're just sort of catching up. Let me just mute. I think someone's mic is still. Okay, 1 second. There we go. Right, so that's when you start calling up your team members and catching up instead of being in phase 1, which is the most important phase to be in. Now, what happens after phase 3, unfortunately, is phase 4. And this is the deadly phase. This is where, unfortunately, a lot of people quit. Okay, phase 4 is when you blame someone for your lack of results. Okay, because as human beings, it can never be us, right? We're always looking for someone else to point the finger at. And this happens a lot in network marketing. Or maybe it's my upline. He wasn't free for a call, so, you know, it's his fault. Or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. And we start blaming people. And that's the most unproductive stage to be at. And that's the most childish stage to be at. Okay, because we're all grown-ups here. We can never, look, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't expect anything from my upline. You know, I use him. Okay, I ask for support here and there. But I don't expect anything. This is my business. I'm paying 100 and something a month for my business. Okay, I take responsibility for it. I don't look left and right and be like, hang on a second, you didn't pick up the phone. If no one picks up the phone, guess what? You carry on, you do the call yourself. Okay, or you try and find someone else to get assistance from, but you never blame anyone. Okay, blaming someone is the quickest way to go down. And unfortunately, like I said, phase 4, a lot of people end up dropping out. So it's very important to understand the phases, because I want you right now to think to yourself, as to what phase you're in. Maybe write it down. What phase do you think you're in right now? You don't have to post it in here. Okay, we don't want to create any enemies, right? But I want you right now to just write down on your journal or your notepad what phase you think you're in right now. Okay, it's very important to be aware of it, because you can't fix what you're not aware of. Okay, the quickest way to move forward is to understand where you're going wrong. Okay, so write down what phase you believe you're at right now. And remember, phase one is where the money's made. That's when you're in the trenches. Because look, we are in the profession where people do what they see you do and not what you tell them to do. Always remember that. There's no point being on the phone motivating people and your PRSV is 145. Okay, that's embarrassing. You know, like it really is shocking. And that's why I always aspire to show people in my team, from me adding people into the groups, instead of me just calling them up and saying, hey, you should do this. Because I'm not a manager. I'm not a manager, okay? I'm a leader, and leaders lead by example. Now, this is a very important one, guys. You've got to understand the difference between productive work and busy work. This is very, very important, because unfortunately, a lot of people don't know the difference. And I'm going to go into it straight away. So what is productive work, guys? Productive work, and this, look, you might have heard this before, but it's important to remind yourself again. Productive work is presenting the business to new prospects. Productive work is three-way calls. And I'm going to touch upon three-way calls, you know, in just a minute, right? Because I'm big on them. It's bringing guests to events. Okay, because I know a lot of you might go to events frequently and you're thinking to yourself, oh, do I have to go to another one? The reason you're thinking this way is because you're not utilizing events correctly. Okay, you're not really utilizing, you know, the testimonials, the stories of the people there. Because if you bring someone to an event, I mean, that makes your life a whole lot easier. You don't even have to worry about, you know, essentially emphasizing the vision to them. They go there, they see a lot of people, they're like, wow, this thing's a big deal. Okay, and it makes your life easy. And it's also acquiring customers. That's the most important one, okay? Because ultimately, your income is not going to increase if there's no new people coming in. Now, busy work, and this is unfortunately where a lot of us are, is reading books, okay, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, right, calling team members, asking how they're getting on, rereading notes. I know some people in my team even that have like this much notes, but they're still the same rank, and they've been the same rank for 6 months. It's not about the notes you have, okay? It's about you working, okay? There's no substitute to good old-fashioned, you know, calls. You got to pick up the phone. As heavy as it is, you've got to pick up the phone, right? It's going to events without guests. There's no point go to an event without guests. It doesn't make sense. Of course, you got to go anyways. You got to show up. But what's the point of just not growing your business? It's so simple just to bring someone with you, okay? And I'll touch upon a few methods in just a second. And it's also checking the back office 10 times a day, which unfortunately a lot of us on here do, right? Even though it updates once a day now, some of us want to open the back office and pray for a miracle. Get all of a sudden it says Chairman 10. Okay, unfortunately that's not going to happen. You know, you have to work your ass off in order to make that happen, right? So that's the difference between productive work and busy work. Now, moving forward, network marketing, guys, what I want you to understand, it's all about getting a large group of people to do a few simple things over a sustained period of time. It's very simple, okay? It's about getting a large group of people to do a few simple steps over a consistent period of time. Now, what I want you to understand is this, right? And this I learned from someone who's a multiple 7-figure earner. His name is Darren Kidd. He says the amount of people you expose the business to is your miles per hour. So essentially, how quickly you get to Chairman 10 is predicated by the amount of exposures. Exposures are everything. You know, Eric Worre talks about the invitation or prospecting as being the #1 skill. Okay, because if you can't get people to see the information, I don't care how good you are, how passionate you are, you're not going to progress. You're going to stay the same rank. So really putting the information in front of people is so important. And how quickly you hit the ranks is predicated by how many people you expose the business to. Common sense, that is, right? Now, we have something called the 2-a-day system, which is really very simple. A lot of us often, what we want to do is we want to set ourselves big goals because we think we can tackle them. And there's nothing wrong with setting big goals. But, you know, I'll give you an example, right? You know, some of my leaders from a while ago, you know, they were frustrated as to why they weren't progressing. And they said, I'm going to message 50 people a day. And some of them do that. But after 3 days, they stop doing it because it's just not, it's not something they can sustain, right? So what I learned, and this I learned from someone in network marketing as well, who created several millionaires. This guy's incredible. He talks about the 2-a-day system. If you can just pique the interest of 2 people a day, and I'll show you how the numbers add up in the next slide anyways, it can create insane momentum in your business. So how do we do it? Piquing interest. I'm pretty sure you guys know how to do it. Okay, not talking too much about the business. It's just asking someone whether they're open-minded to making money, sending them a third-party video. Okay, and then what you do is after you set up you send them the video, you organize a 3-way call. The 3-way call is so important. If you guys aren't doing 3-way calls, you know, I mean, you're just going to slow down your progress. It is crucial, right? So you set up an appointment for a 3-way call. If that person starts after that 3-way call, fantastic. If not, you organize a follow-up call. You always follow up, guys, until you sponsor the individual. Because remember, it takes several exposures, 3 to 5 exposures for the average person to get started. So why would you get frustrated if someone doesn't start the first time? This is what I don't understand. That basically tells me that you have a get-rich-quick attitude. You expect everyone to start right now. And unfortunately, it doesn't work this way. Some of you on this call, I'm pretty sure, didn't join straight away. You took a bit of time. Someone had to follow up with you for a few weeks or a few months. You were playing hard to get, and then eventually you started, right? That's just what happens. So just understand it's a process. Okay, recruiting is not an event, it's a process, right? So 2 a day. Now, how does this add up? It's very simple, guys. I want you to really capture this. Now, before I actually show you the numbers, I want you to understand this. It's duplicatable. Okay, network marketing is all about duplication. It's not just about what you can do. I know some of you leaders on here can do 50 a day, whatever, but it's about what your team can do, because it's a bit overwhelming for the majority to go out there and do huge numbers. So 2 a day, okay? And Jeff Olson, he's a very incredible figure in our profession. He says the attitude comes before the money doesn't come before the attitude. Well, what do I mean by that? A lot of people often say, well, when I have a team, we'll get this culture going. No, you have to get this culture going now before you have a team. You don't get to Platinum 2000 or Platinum 5000 and then become a Platinum 5000. No, you become a Platinum 5000 or a Chairman 10 by doing Platinum 5000 work before you get there, if that makes sense, right? So the attitude comes before the money. The money doesn't come before the attitude, right? And remember, you don't make what you want, you make what you are. So if you are someone that's engaging in this sort of work, you have the correct attitude going forward. You're going to start attracting positive things into your life. Okay, now I'm going to show you how the numbers work on the next slide. So let's say you have a team of 10 people and they do 2 exposures a day. They put the information in front of 2 people every single day. That means per day, you have 20 new people watching the video, which in a week is 140 new people watching the video. Now, as you guys know, in network marketing, there's a 1 out of 10 rule. Typically, 1 out of 10 people that see the information get started. So that means if just 10 people do that, 2 a day, we're not saying 20, we're just saying 2. That means per week, your business will grow by around 14 people. Look, I like to keep things simple. Okay, for me, business is all about numbers. It really is. It's simple. I don't overcomplicate it. There's no conspiracies behind it. It's very simple. If 10 people put the information in front of 2 new people a day, you will get 14 signups by the end of the week. It's simple. I'll be honest with you. The hardest thing for most people is just be consistent. You might do it for 1 week, but are you going to do it the next week and the next week and the next week, right? So that's really how that adds up. Now, the powerful thing is when your team starts growing even more. So if you have a team of 100 people, that's when it starts getting sweet, okay? Because this way, it just times it by 10, guys. It's very simple maths. Per week, it's 140 potential signups per week. 140, it's numbers. 1 out of 10. I'm not even saying 6 out of 10. Look, some of you leaders on here, you can close 3 or 4 out of 10. But I'm just being extremely realistic. And I'm just saying 1 out of 10 start with you. Okay, so that means if you have a team of 100, and that's why it's so powerful, guys, just to get a large group of people to do something very small. That's why it's so profound, okay? Because it's something anyone can do. Anyone can just pick up their phone, send a video to 2 new people, and that's it, done. That's the work done for the day. How long did that take? 2 minutes? It's very doable by everyone. And so that's why this is very exciting, right? You have a team of 100 people, man. It's 140 signups per week, right? That's incredible. That really is. Your team will start growing in a month. That's a chairman organization right there. Okay, but once again, the hardest part is sticking to it. And look, I want to quickly touch upon your reason why, because it's very good to know the numbers and, to be excited about the numbers. But, a lot of you on here, maybe you'll start doing this for a few days and then you'll drop it and you'll go back to your old habits. Listen, you need to be extremely clear on what you're doing, and you need to be extremely clear on why you're doing it, right? Your reason why is so important, man. If someone has to convince you to do something that would benefit you or change your life, then the reality is you don't want it as bad as you say you want it. It's all talk. And I say this to my team all the time. A lot of them tell me, I want to retire my mom, this and this. And I'm like, yeah, that's sweet. That's nice. Okay. But let's see if you follow through with this 3 weeks from now. And listen, I encourage you guys, if you live local to each other, you leaders can meet up with your teams, have a why circle, get everyone to sit down in a circle and get everyone to share their reason why. Okay. Usually why circles are quite emotional. People open up and say, I want to do this for my parents, etc., or whoever it is, right? And people often get a bit overwhelmed and emotional. But that's very important because, listen, we all need to hold each other accountable. Okay, that's the only way we're going to move forward as an organization. It's for you to say, listen, I remember you told me, man, you want to do this to your dad, right? Come on, man. You can't be slacking this way, right? You ain't going to get there this way. And so, listen, you need to be very clear on your reason why. Because when the why is strong enough, the how doesn't matter. You'll get it done. Trust me. You'll get it done. When you're very clear on why you're doing it, I'm telling you, look, I know you're hearing what I'm saying right now, and some of you thinking, oh yeah, I've heard this before. But listen, you need to keep hearing it until it sinks in, right? Those people that take their why extremely seriously, man, they get the best results. They really do. So it's good for you to right now see the numbers and to get excited by the numbers. But if you're not constantly reminded by your why, you're not going to stick to this for a sustained period of time. Okay. Now, moving forward, exposure, guys. Exposure is everything. I told you earlier, it's the number one skill. Okay, putting the information in front of people. You don't have to be good looking. You don't have to be a good speaker. Just put the information in front of a large group of people. And I promise you guys, you're going to get the results you're looking for. Okay, it's simple, man. Where attention goes, money flows. People like Grant Cardone talk about this all the time, getting attention. If you stand outside and scream, a lot of people are going to look at you. Man, what's going on over there, right? It's the same with your business. If you're not getting people's attention, and look, with social media, look, I'm active on it every single day. Sometimes I don't want to be. I don't want to be active every single day because sometimes I just can't be asked to speak to anyone, right? But man, I'm trying to get to the next level here. I want people to see me because if no one knows you exist, they can't buy from you, can they? Okay, it's not a money objection. It's not a time objection. It's not I can't sign up objection. If they don't know you exist, they can't buy from you, full stop. Okay, you might complain, oh, I don't have as many followers as he does, or Zane or Asra or whatever. That's all excuses. When I started Iron Mount, I had 200 followers, man. Come on. I had 200 followers. That's it. But I was posting every single day and my followers started increasing. I was active. My stories, like your stories should be essentially like a mini vlog, okay? People need to be following you, and what you're doing day to day. If I'm not reminding people that I exist, they might join someone else. So I'm out here posting every single day. And I've had it happen all the time. People pop up to me after a few months and say, Ali, I've been following you for some time now. I've been seeing you. Sometimes they just mention something that's completely random, but that's why they like me. Oh, Ali, you drink Turkish coffee as well. I do as well. And I'm thinking, nice. Okay. Or they say something like, listen, man, you're from the same country as me. Oh, nice, man. And we just talk back and forth. And then they end up joining, right? But because they've been seeing me over and over again, some people on Instagram, they just like watching. In fact, I have a funny story. There's this one guy who recently started with my team about a month ago, who initially didn't like me. He was like, who's this guy, man? Always in a suit, always out and about. Who does he think he is? Talking to us on his Instagram. But he told me, Ali, I'll tell you what, I just kept following you, man. I don't know what it is about you. I didn't like you in the beginning, but I was on your stories every day. I was like, man, what is he doing, man? Like, I'm just curious. He's always talking. What on earth is he doing? So he told me one day, Ali, I just put my pride to one side. I said, it was hard for me to do that, Ali, but I just asked you, what do you do? And the funny thing is, I replied back and we actually met for a coffee. And he told me, listen, man, I'm sorry. I judged you in the beginning. But he signed up, someone who initially didn't like me. So it just goes to show, guys, there could be people out there right now that have been following you for some time that are just they're going to take the leap. Okay. But you have to constantly remind them that you're doing your thing. Even your friends, the ones that initially didn't start with you, they're watching you from a distance. They're like, okay, she's doing her thing, right? Platinum 2000, good. Okay, I'm seeing that. A lot of people often just check up on you to see if you failed or not. Is he still doing that thing? And if you're doing it and you're not slowing down, they're thinking, man, maybe I should just drop my ego and I should just join this guy because he's clearly not stopping, right? So exposure, guys, you've got to be the person who gets the most attention. The person on this call that gets the most attention will make the most money, bottom line. Okay, it's not a cute quote, okay? It's not something just to make you feel happy on the inside. I want you to implement this, right? The person who genuinely, look, I'll give you a real life example, okay? Kylie Jenner, worth $1 billion US, the youngest ever billionaire, okay? Why on earth is she a billionaire? Okay, she's not extremely intelligent like Albert Einstein or Thomas Edison, okay? She hasn't got natural ability like singing or whatever. So why is she worth $1 billion? Well, she's got a ton of attention, 125 million followers. She drops her makeup line or whatever, boom. In minutes, it's sold out. Okay? Youngest ever billionaire. Her company now is worth more than L'Oreal and Mac. I think last year her company did 400 million in sales. Okay, that's a lot more than IML. Okay, for someone who sells makeup. Now, it's very important to take heed from this lesson, right? She's got a ton of attention. Social media is the way to go to get attention. And if you're saying to yourself, oh, I don't like Facebook, well, that's fine then. Stay broke. Okay, that's what I'll tell you. Oh, Ali, I don't really use Snapchat. That's fine with me. Stay where you are then. Because the reality, look, I'm active on Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm trying to snatch people from different places. Exposure, guys, is everything, okay? You might attract someone who has an organization, another company of 1,000 or 2,000 people, but he's on LinkedIn, okay? Maybe you attract someone who's in his 50s, because you got to remember, Facebook has a slightly different demographic than Snapchat and Instagram. Maybe someone is a top leader, in his 50s or in her 50s in another company, and she mainly uses Facebook, okay? But because you never post on it, you're not going to get her attention, okay? So you got to post everywhere, guys. It's very, very important. Now, I want you guys to understand that it's very important to be a professional in this business, okay? Because professionals get paid professional money, amateurs get paid amateur money, right? What do you want to be? Okay, now one thing I always tell my team is to buy a planner. In fact, mine is right here. Okay, buy a planner. Now, when I bought this planner, I walked in and I was looking for the most expensive one because I want to hold myself accountable. I wasn't really the kind of guy, I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't always the most organized in terms of structuring my day, etc. But then I was listening to Jim Rohn, and he was talking about the importance of having a journal. And I was thinking to myself, why would you disagree with someone like that? Someone who's made tens of millions in his career, and it's not just Jim Rohn that says this. Grant Cardone plans his day, the night before, and even the day that he actually starts, he also writes down goals. Okay, so some of the world's brightest minds are saying this. So I bought a journal, a diary. I started writing down what I wanted to get done for the next day. So I'm not waking up once again and leaving my success to chance. Let's see how it goes today. No, I know what I'm going to get done. I know what three-way call I'm doing at what time with who. I know what training I'm going to be doing. I know what presentation I'm going to be doing. I know what I'm doing, full stop. Okay, because I have a diary. All right. Second thing is to have a big list. This is very simple. You've heard this before, but what a lot of people do wrong is they write a list maybe once or twice. They may hit P600 from that list and then they just drop it. Okay, and then they're just trying to message people on Instagram and they don't write people down. You can't, once again, guys, you can't accidentally hit Chairman 10. You need to be very, very organized. Okay, so I'll tell you this, my personal list right now is almost 1,000 people. And by the way, it's not just names. I have comments next to each person. Okay, comments. So I know who said what and why they said it or when I'm going to follow up with that person. I'm very, very clinical with it. Okay, because I'm trying to get to Chairman 500 here, man. I'm not playing games. There's people out there that could take me there. Remember, all you ever need is 3 people that are extremely serious about the business that you're doing. And those 3 people will take you to 7 or even 8 figures. If you look at David and Medici, for example, he's got 3 to 4 major leaders. and they bring in a lot of the momentum for it. Okay, so you don't need 30,000. You need a few serious people. And if you want to get those serious people, guess what? You have to be serious. Remember what I said earlier? You attract what you are. If you're not serious, then you can't attract serious people. So have a big list and check it every single day. Write down what each prospect has said to you. Okay, there's something called BAM, which I know Asra talks about as well. Guys, book a meeting from a meeting, okay? When I'm doing a 3-way call, I never hang up on the call without organizing the next call. Okay, I was doing a 3-way call for one of my team members the other day, and that person was like, well, you know, money's tight for me, this and this. And I'll tell you this, guys, I never feel sorry for anyone. Okay, I said, okay, I understand. Good. Well, listen, borrow the money. Okay, straight up. I'm not Mr. Nice Guy. If you're nice, you're not going to move forward in network marketing. I said, listen, his name is Craig. I said, Craig, what's your favorite car? Aston Martin DB9. Nice, man. What color would you get it in? Silver. Good, good. That's a nice choice, man. Well, listen, Craig, if I told you that I would sell you an Aston Martin, okay, for £250, but the catch is, Craig, you got to bring the money to me within the next 2 hours. Would you have the money? He said, of course I have the money, man. It's an Aston Martin. I said, well, Craig, the money isn't the issue then. Okay, the money isn't the issue. You're not prioritizing your life properly at the moment. That means you see a car as more valuable than your financial future. Okay, Craig, you're worse than broke, you're poor. Okay, passing over opportunities repeatedly. You need to fix something here, man. And he was like, oh, you know what? That's true. Because he was initially saying to me, I've got a mortgage, I've got this. And Grant Cardone, he mentioned something very powerful on a video I saw recently. He says, objections are not objections, they're complaints. Okay, objections are not objections, they're complaints. So when someone says to you, oh, the price, oh, this, so what? Sign right there, right? That's what Grant Cardone says, essentially. Some people moan to him about, oh, you know, I've got a budget. That means you've spent with everyone except me. That's not my problem. Sign right there, right? So you gotta really understand that, guys. You know. So as I was saying, I told Craig, listen, Craig, I want you to go online right now, borrow the money, okay? You know, get a loan out or whatever, or ask to borrow money from a friend. And go, for those of you that are worried to tell people to borrow money, understand this. And this I learned from Grant Cardone as well. I researched these people, man. Grant says, if you don't believe that people should get into debt for your product, then you're not sold on your product, straight up. Okay? If you don't believe that people should get into debt for your product, you're not sold on your product. I tell people to borrow money all the time. I don't care. I was $6,000 in debt when I started this. I didn't feel sorry for myself. It was my fault. I was at that position. So I'm not going to put my hand on their back and say, well, you know what? You're going through a tough time. You know, whenever you have the money, just come back to me. No. Okay, that's what someone who's unsuccessful will say. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to tell them, listen, you're borrowing the money, Craig. And Craig, listen, tomorrow I'm going to call you at 2 o'clock to catch up and see what you managed to get done. Is that all right with you, Craig? Sounds good. Perfect. Tomorrow, Craig, expect a call from me at 2 o'clock. So I hang up and I write down, call Craig at 2 o'clock. And he's waiting for my call now. He's getting stuff done now. He's making calls. And guess what? Forget 2 o'clock. He signed up 2 hours later. Okay, 2 hours later, the guy who was moaning to me about, I have a mortgage, I have a wife, I have this. I was like, okay. I told him to borrow the money. And just remember this, guys, okay? A man or woman that has confidence in themselves gains the confidence of others, right? If you speak with so much authority, so much certainty, people are going to be like, well, you know what? I mean, from the way you're speaking, this must be important. Okay, I'm going to do this thing. It's not about how much money you've made trading. It's not about how you speak or anything like that. Okay, it's about your authority. Okay, your certainty levels. If you're so certain that this product is good, push it against people. Okay, push it. And that takes me on to the next point. Move quickly. Remember what I said earlier, guys? How many people you expose the business to, how many calls you do, that's your miles per hour. Okay, so how quickly you get to chairman is predicated by how quickly you put the information in front of people, how quickly you get a call done. Today is Monday, right? Let's say you message someone today and he says, you know what, Ali, or you know what, Mohammed, or whatever, I'm going to get back to you on Friday, and it's Monday today. I don't take that. I'm like, come on, Mohammed, you're telling me that from now until Friday, you don't have 20 minutes. I don't believe that. You have 20, look, I have 20 minutes when I'm sat in the toilet. Okay, I bring my phone with me, I get some work done. Okay, So everybody has 20 minutes, guys. So I don't feel sorry for them. I said, listen, I have it 20 minutes. I want you to watch it tonight. This is very important. It's time sensitive. Okay, watch it tonight, and I'll get back to you in about, I'll set a time with them. So let's say, I say, Mohammed, what time tonight would you be able definitely to take a look at the information? 8 o'clock? Brilliant. 8:30, I'm going to give you a call. I'm not going to sit around and wait till Friday. Okay, you have the value. Because remember, guys, at the end of the day, they don't know what they don't know, right? It's not their fault they say these things sometimes, because they don't know how valuable IML is. They don't know how valuable the harmonic scanner is. Guys, there's someone in this company, and I won't mention his name because of, you might call him for a loan, but this guy makes multiple 7 figures per month from the harmonic scanner. Okay, multiple 7 figures. Okay, ridiculous, from one product. And he joined IML 2.5 years ago. Okay, he's one of those silent guys. He doesn't want his name out there. He's not in my organization. He's in a different team. But from a $200 investment, look what it did for him. That's why I tell people, borrow the damn money. Because there's people in this company that have changed their lives. I have myself. So why would I not tell them to borrow the money? Okay, so speed, guys, is everything. And one thing I want to mention as well is learn the scripts. Okay, the attention to detail, guys, is very important. It's going to make you big money. Jim Rohn says everything affects everything. Okay, write that down. Everything affects everything. If you can't be bothered to learn how to edify, if you can't be bothered to learn the follow-up scripts and stuff, then how on earth do you expect to get the chairman? You won't get there because you just can't be bothered. Okay, so for example, when you're edifying, learn the script. Okay, don't just go about it your way and hope for the best. No, learn the script. If someone has done it before you, then there's no need for you to reinvent the wheel. Okay, learn the script, practice on each other. Okay, trust me, guys, it's very, very important that little things matter. All right, now in terms of structuring your day, you know, I would encourage you guys to have 2 time blocks in the day, because some people often complain to me about, you know, oh, it's difficult for me because I've got this going on. So I'll give you an idea of what time blocks are like. Okay, so for example, in the morning, 7 to 8. Okay, and these are some of the things you can do. You know, add 3 to 5 new people to your list, start 3 to new 5 conversations, and even on Facebook, you know, one way of building rapport with someone is to wish them a happy birthday on their page. Makes someone feel good about you. Oh, okay, that person's nice. Wish me a happy birthday, and then you can start talking to them, right? Share the information, like I said, with 2 people. Follow up with some of the people that you spoke to from the previous day. Organize 3-way calls in advance. Don't call your mentor out of nowhere and say, "Can you do a call for me?" You need to let them know. I tell my team all the time, if you don't give me 24 hours notice, I'm not doing a call for you, because I'm not going to be driving or in the gym and you call me and say, "Can you do a call right now?" I can't. You know, this is a business. Okay, you need to give me some notice. And I also post once a day on my page, and of course several times a day on my story. And then I do the same thing in the evening, pretty much. Okay, so just dedicate 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening to do these few simple things. 3 to 5, you might think, Ali, that's not a lot. But think about it this way, truthfully speaking, how many people did you expose the business to in the last 24 hours? How many new people did you put the information in front of in the last 24 hours? Most of the times, guys, that's one person, maybe no one. So 3 to 5, don't underestimate that. It adds up, as I've shown you earlier. Okay, the numbers do add up. All right, do a few 3-way calls in the evening. Plan the next day before it comes. You know, David Amedike said on a call the other day, you don't plan a holiday after you've taken it, right? Doesn't make sense. You plan it before you take it. So why wake up, like I said earlier, and just, okay, well, let me just see how it goes today. No, you need to know what you're going to be doing. All right. So guys, once again, you know, this quote, and I'll end on this: your daily routine, guys, will determine whether you attain your dream. I know it sounds corny. Okay. It sounds cliche, but it's very, very important, guys. Your daily routine. Okay. That's why this whole call is called Daily Method of Operation. Daily. This is what you need to be doing every single day. And it needs to be duplicatable across your whole team. It can't just be something you can do. Everyone needs to be able to do it. Okay, so this DMO right here eliminates all the excuses. Anyone can do 2 a day. Okay, it's very simple. But even small things like having a journal, if you don't already have one, planning your day in advance, that can take you, 5, 6 years ahead, because most people, unfortunately, don't do it. Most people just, hope for the best. And that's why they end up quitting, because they're not structured, they're not organized. Okay. So guys, that's pretty much the training right there. I really do hope it's been beneficial for you. I like to keep them short and sweet, straight to the point. Do you guys have anything you want to ask me perhaps in the chat box or anything like that? Or are we all good? I know I've muted everyone's mic. So, all right, fantastic. Well, yeah, Abdurrahman, I'll pass it back over to you, man. If you just want to mention a few things, or pass it back to you, man.
Yeah, Ali, could you just go through exactly your process? I mean, like usually what we do is just prospecting, inviting, and then presenting, and then the closing. Is there anything else that you would like to add into that process, and anything that you have found through your experience that you could add into that you do?
Right. Okay. In terms of what I do, guys, I like to keep it simple. Okay. I don't like to reinvent the wheel. There's a system called PS3, right? You peak interest, you share the information, and you organize a three-way call. That's how simple it is for me. I don't create more steps and more obstacles. I like to keep it straight to the point. Peak interest. Okay, very simple. Hey, Jack, I hope you're doing well. Jack, listen, man, I'm short on time. I literally only have a minute back to walk into my meeting. Jack, I've just stumbled upon something incredible, man. This is huge. There's some serious earning potential. Jack, let me ask you a quick question, man. When it comes to making more money outside of what you do right now, do you keep your options open, yes or no? Yeah, Ali, yeah, I'll keep my options open. Fantastic. Well, listen, because I'm short on time, Jack, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a 20-minute video, which is going to go through the whole thing, step by step. I want you to sit down right now, give it a watch, and I'll call you after my meeting in half an hour. How does that sound, Jack? Yeah, Ali, that sounds great. Now, guys, listen, I always assume they're free straight away, because if they are, that's good news for me. I can get a decision in 20 minutes. So I always say, I want you to sit down right now and give it a watch. Now, if they can't, then this is what I would say. No worries, Jack. I know you're at work. Jack, what time tonight definitely would you be able to watch the information? This is time sensitive. I'll probably be free, Ali, about 8:30. Great. Well, listen, 9 o'clock, I'm going to give you a ring and we're going to have a chat about it. Does that sound good, Jack? Sounds great. Boom. 9 o'clock, I'm giving him a call. And when I give him a call, for you guys on here who maybe aren't confident, you have to organize a three-way call. You have to. Get your mentor on the line. Let your mentor speak to your prospects. The whole purpose of a three-way call, guys, is to bridge the influence and credibility gap. Okay, because in the beginning, for you guys on here, and even for me in the beginning, right, you don't really have much credibility. Your friends, they know you, and that's why it's difficult to close them, because they know you. Maybe they know what car you drive or your financial situation. So they're not really going to take what you say seriously. That's why you connect them on a call with your mentor, right? Your mentor will be able to have more influence over your prospects. So I organize a call with Jack and I get my mentor on the line, and my mentor is going to close Jack on the call. If he's not able to close him, we organize another call. Okay, we bam fam and we get another call scheduled. But it really is very, very simple. Now, guys, one thing I'll drop you, a golden nugget, which, I'm going to charge you guys for. Okay, I'm going to send you an invoice, because this is a very, very big one. This one is, and this is something most people don't do, and that is qualifying people. Because a lot of the times what we do is we end up speaking to people that aren't qualified, and they end up wasting our time. What do I mean by not qualified? I mean, they don't like Forex. They don't want to make more money. They don't have the money, right? And so we end up wasting a lot of time with prospects like this. So what I say to people, and by the way, when I speak to people on Instagram, whatever, I always voice note, because I want them to hear how excited I am about what I've got. I'm not going to text them. Okay, first of all, I never share the information over text or over the voice. But what I'll say, for example, is, yeah, I'm having a fantastic day. Hey, listen, and then I'll get into it. I want them to hear how excited I am. Okay, so listen, in terms of qualifying, after I ask someone whether they're open-minded to making more money, I ask them this, and this is a golden nugget, right? Hey, Jack, listen, if you like what you see and it makes sense, would you be willing to invest $250 to better your situation? I know we have the elite pack now, so you can say $325 to better your situation, right? So why do I ask that question? Because if they say, of course I would, now you know they've got the right mindset. Okay, they've got a good mindset now. So now, because look, there's a difference between someone who's broke and broke-minded. Okay, someone who's broke-minded is going to be like, no, why would I invest? It doesn't make sense. Or, you know, it's a scam, or it's this or that. So what I would ask them is, listen, Jack, if you like what you see and it makes sense, would you be willing to invest $300 or $325 to better your situation? And, you know, if they are business minded, they're going to be like, of course I would. Brilliant. Well, listen, Jack, I'm going to forward you the information. So now you move forward, and now you know that these guys aren't going to really be time wasters. Because, and I've done this, I've said this to a lot of people, and some of them say to me, nah, I'm not really looking for anything new, or I don't have any money. And I'm not saying don't speak to people that don't have money, okay? But at least you're aware of that now. So you're not going to go through the whole process and waste your time. You can just send them the information and set up an appointment where you can follow up with them. But this way you can just speed up the process. You can go through people that are qualified, that have the money, that like the idea of investing. So this way you're not wasting much time. Does that make sense? Yeah, fantastic. But yeah, guys, that's it. I keep it simple, straight to the point. I'm not really looking to waste any time with people that aren't qualified. So yeah, bro, I'll pass it back to you if you want to add anything else.
For us, for the closers in the house, could you just go through what your process is for closing? What do you go through? What do you avoid, especially what not to say and what to say in your closing?
Okay, in terms of closing, once again, I also like to keep it straight to the point. First of all, I'll ask them when I'm on a three-way call with my team members. I'll ask the prospect first of all, if what I'll do is I'll go through my story very briefly. I won't talk about my life story, but I'll talk about my story for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'll ask them. So I'll say, Sarah, first of all, let me ask you a question. Did you like what you see, or did it make sense? First of all, did it make sense? Yeah, it made sense, you know. And then I'll move on to, what did you like best? What did you like best about the video? Oh, I like the fact that, you know, you're flexible, you know, you can do it around your schedule, or I like the harmonic scanner. They'll mention something they like about it. Okay, what did you like best? And then, you know, what I'll proceed on to say, you know, very quickly, and I'll agree with her. So for example, if she says, I like the harmonic scanner, I'll say, you know what, it's one of our best products. You know, it's a very simple and straightforward product to use. You're going to have videos on, you're going to understand how it works. So I'll work with them on what they like. So if she told me, I like the fact that residual income enables you to, you know, be flexible, I'll be like, absolutely. And I'll talk about how it's helped me because of residual income of having, you know, I haven't had a job in over 2 years. I've done this, I've done that. I get her even more excited. And then I literally go in for the kill. So I literally just say, hey, listen, since you like what you see and it makes sense, would there be anything, Sarah, preventing you from getting started today? Okay. Would there be anything preventing you from getting started today? Yes or no? Some of them will say, no, nothing's holding me back. Brilliant. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get Abdurrahman to forward you over the link to get your account set up. Follow the steps on the link that he forwards. Create your account. Once you've done that, we'll add you into our WhatsApp group or Telegram group, and then we'll schedule a launch call for you where we're going to go through a 90-day plan of action. And we're going to talk about how you can get the best possible results over the next 90 days. Does that sound good? And then she's like, yeah, sounds great. Brilliant. Boom, right there, done. Now, if the outcome of that call is, you know, money, this and that, guess what? I bam, fam. 24 to 48 hours maximum. I don't give people weeks, 3 weeks, unless something really tragic has happened, in which case, of course, you've got to be understanding. But if it's just about getting the money, $250 or $300, come on, I don't feel sorry for people. Okay, well, listen, Sarah, what we're going to do tomorrow evening, and whoever's on that call, for example, if I'm the upline and I have a girl on my team called Annabelle, whatever, and the prospect's called Sarah, Annabelle is going to set the appointment. I'm not going to do it for her as an upline. What I'll say is Annabelle's going to reach out to you, Sarah. She's going to set an appropriate time with you tomorrow to catch up and to see what was able to get done in terms of getting the money. Okay, so if you're using your upline for the three-way call, don't let him do everything. You have to take initiative as well. He's going to do the talking. He's going to ask for the sale on the call. But at the same time, you have to show professionalism. And you have to tell your prospect, listen, I'm going to call you after the call. And what we're going to do is we're going to organize a time tomorrow to catch up and see what was able to get done. But it's very simple. I don't like to overcomplicate my closing, guys. It's very simple. Most of the time it is money. If you have someone that says, I want to think about it, which is a classic one, right? Give me a bit of time to think about it. This is what I say. Let's say someone's called Josh said to me, Ali, I want to think about it. I'll be like, nice. Well, Josh, listen, when people tell me they want to think about it, it usually means one of two things. Okay. It usually means one of two things. Number one, they're not interested in the whole concept. Or number two, they're interested, but they're not sure. Which one is it for you, Josh? And he'll say, I'm interested, but I'm not sure. That's the classic one. And then I say, great. Well, listen, Josh, when people tell me they're not sure, it usually means one of two things, okay? It either means that they don't really understand the product or what it's about, or it's a financial problem. What is it for you? And what they're going to say 99% of the time is, yeah, the money, So I've just got them from saying, I want to think about it, to them saying the money. Because I don't want them, because look, what you have to understand, guys, is that prospects bullshit all the time, okay? They cover up the reason, the real reason as to why they're not starting. Some of them are shy, they're embarrassed to tell you the truth. So they come up with the classic, I want to think about it situation, right? So that's why you want to get straight to the point. So that's why I break it down this way. And I say, okay, well, when people tell me that they're not sure, it usually means one or two things. Either the product doesn't really make sense to them, in which case that's my fault. I'll re-explain things to you properly. Or it's a case where money is a bit tight. What is it for you? Like I said, most of them will say, yeah, the money is a bit of an issue. Well, listen, and then I'll share my story as to how I started off in a very bad position financially and how I was able to start. I sympathize with them, but then I also give them a solution. Okay, so I tell them, listen, reach out, make a couple of calls, see who can lend you the money. I make the number seem insignificant because it is, okay? What, $225, let's say, for the basic pack, right? Come on, that's a nice jacket. That's a pair of shoes. That's a parking ticket. That's Apple AirPods if you guys have them as well, roughly, right? Come on, that's not really a lot of money now, Craig, is it? Right, and it's all about tonality, guys. Guys, you should all follow someone called Jordan Belfort, who I'm sure you know, the Wolf of Wall Street. He talks about getting your tonality right, okay? How you sound is very important because, for example, if I take my tone down a little bit and then I start speaking to him like this, come on now, Jack, okay? It's the price of a pair of AirPods, man. I make myself seem very reasonable. And this way he starts thinking, hang on a second, he's right. It is a price of a pair of AirPods. He is this. I don't maintain one tone throughout the whole convo. Tonality is a game changer, guys. Or for example, when I say to him, if I set up a call and I say, listen, tomorrow I'm going to call you at 7 o'clock and we're going to get you set up, etc. Does that sound fair enough with you? Okay, the term sound fair enough makes you sound reasonable. Okay, once again, he's a nice guy. Okay, it makes them feel like you're a friend and you're just having a nice, friendly conversation with them. Does that sound good with you? Does that sound fair enough with you? Okay, and that's it. And I set up a call. A lot of the people that get off a call with me, my team member will tell me, wow, they're blown away, or, they're saying so many nice things about you. I crack jokes with them whenever I can. I put in a nice joke there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? But the point is this, it works anyways, right? And yeah, that's it, guys. I make myself a friend to them and we set up a call and we get to it. But it's very straightforward. Don't overcomplicate it. Really don't overcomplicate it. Just do it. And you get better with repetition. Remember that, guys. Repetition builds a reputation. If you want to be good at presenting, present all the time. If you want to be good at three-way calls, do a ton of three-way calls. There is no other way around it, guys. If you're scared, take the leap now. We're almost at April now. Come on. I mean, there's what, 12 days now till April? We need to get moving. Okay, this year is going to fly by. December will come, and some people, unfortunately, are going to be in the exact same position. And you don't want to be one of those people. Okay, so get to work, guys. Consume content from some of the best, but don't sit there at home reading all these books, please. I'm against people that are just over the top with personal development. There's no point listening to Jim Rohn for 4 hours when you've been trying to get to P600 for 4 months. Okay, come on. Your issue isn't personal development. Your issue is just you're not brave enough to pick up the phone and make the calls. Okay, so don't read too many books. Okay, consume some of the books. Okay, pick up a few things, but then just go out there and implement. Okay, implementation is everything. There's a saying, knowledge or is it knowledge on fire? Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. Okay, ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. Knowledge, once again, doesn't mean anything if you don't use it, if you don't apply it. Okay, so with that being said, guys, that's me done and dusted. Did you have anything else, bro, you wanted me to touch upon, or are we all good?
Lastly, bit of a personal one. Could you just share your story, Ali, from the beginning to how IML came into your life, who introduced it to you, and from that point onwards, all the hurdles that you came through. We just want to hear, everything, your experience,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
on the way.
Sure. Okay.
I think
No worries at all.
Screen sharing, so just stop screen share. Yeah.
Don't know who's doing that. Yeah. All right. No worries. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I won't mind doing that. So how I started was, you guys know who Ahmed Jammer is, right? Ahmed Jammer actually called me up at 1 a.m. and he was like, Adi, listen, I've got something I want to share with you. And like I said, guys, at that point, I was broke as hell. I mean, if there was a competition on who was the brokest, I'd win. Okay, that's how bad things were. I was so broke. If I walked past the bank, the alarm would start going on. Okay, that's how bad things were, guys. And you might see me right now with my suits and traveling, but it wasn't always like this. It was difficult, right? So 1 a.m., I jumped on a Zoom webinar. He shared the information with me. I was like, wow, this is just insane. The concept is ridiculous. I was obsessed with the residual income from day one. I got straight into it. I hit P600 in 3 days, P1000 in under 2 weeks, P2000 in 6 weeks. And then I hit P5K in about 5.5 months. Okay. And right now there's over 800 people in the team in over 20 countries. And it wasn't always easy, guys. I had some serious ups and downs. Some leaders drop out the team, taking 50 people, 100 people with them. I've had to rebuild several times. But the kind of guy that I am, I'm not going to just throw in the towel when things get tough. Okay, because once again, my reason why is very big. And I'm not going to forget my dreams. Look, I'll be honest with you guys. I also have a good way of getting myself up and running. Whenever I'm procrastinating, what I do is I just visualize being in a Rolls-Royce Phantom. Okay, top of the line Rolls-Royce Phantom at the back, of course. Okay, being driven around with my laptop open. Okay, marking up some charts, nice cup of coffee, and I just live in that moment for just a few seconds. I zone everything out, and I just see myself, and it feels so real. I'm in the Rolls Royce, I'm smelling good, I'm looking good, okay, and I've got a Cuban cigar next to me as well, okay, because I want to be driving around town. I want people to know who's the boss, right? And I just live in that moment, and then I zone out of it. I'm like, I better get back to work. I want to experience that thing in real life, okay? And I just, look, for people, different things work. Okay, for me, that works very well. It makes me just get straight back to work. I visualize it so clearly. And one thing I recommend you guys do as well is go to showrooms, sit in some of the nicest cars out there, and be dead serious about it. When the guy comes over to ask you questions, like, yeah, I'm actually interested in this car. It's been one of the cars that I've been looking at for a while. They'll respect you. Do you know what I mean? And this is something that's it just gets you excited. Because remember, guys, when you feel good, you do good. And when I sit in nice cars, I'm big on cars. I just love exotic cars, right? German cars, so it just gets me excited. And I go to, $1 million homes, see what they're like. Wow, I could see myself here. That's going to be where I'm doing the webinars. That's going to be where, you know what I mean? I start visualizing everything, right? And it just feels so real to me. And that just gets me excited. But yeah, guys, I had many ups and downs, but the kind of guy that I am, it's like that cliche scene in a movie where you get punched in the face. I spit my tooth out and I go for it again. I'm not going to step down because someone quit my team or took 30, 40 people with them. I'm here, till Chairman 500 and even beyond. Because as you guys know, there's other ranks that are going to be introduced at some point. Some serious money on the table here. And guys, just to put more faith in you, just remember this. 3 people in the top 8 in the whole industry, the highest earning people, the highest 8 earning, 3 of them are from IML. We're 5 years old and we haven't even touched momentum yet. Companies start experiencing momentum at 250, 300,000 people. We've just hit 85,000. So think about where you could be 3 to 4 years from now if you stick in the game. Because if you quit, you failed. That's the bottom line. You can't fail if you don't quit. If you keep going, something miraculous will happen. I promise you. You know, the right person will hit you up. How do I start this thing? I've been seeing you doing it. You know, influential people will start in your team, but you've got to stick around. Longevity creates credibility. Okay, longevity creates credibility. Look at David Amatier. First few years in the industry, failed. Didn't do well. Holton Buggs, first 7 years, made $500. Now, I mean, in total, he's made over 60 million in his career in network marketing. First 7 years, made $500. Some of you are Platinum 600, Platinum 1000. You've only been in the company for a few months. Okay, Holton Buggs, $500 in 7 years. Insane, right? So we're at the right place at the right time with the right people. You know, this is a stepping stone for many other things, guys. Because of your success in IML, you can invest in real estate. I'm working on my own suit collection, which you guys better buy from, you know, when I release. Okay, I'm counting on you guys. I'll make sure I ship to Sri Lanka as well. But yeah, guys, you know, because of this, I'm working on other passion projects as well, things that I've always wanted to get done because of the money, because of the time freedom. So we are in a blessed company, guys, you know, so definitely stick around, stay consistent, and you are going to get the breakthrough that you're looking for. Remember, this Oprah Winfrey quote is very beautiful. She says, do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. Okay, do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. Okay, do the webinars, do the 3-way calls, do everything you have to do until one day you can take a 3-month vacation. You can do this, you can do that. You can travel up and down the world. You can stay at the nicest hotels. You can buy the most expensive cars, the most expensive watches. But right now you have to do what's required. Okay, so yeah, guys, with that being said, hopefully that's a bit more of an insight. I'd love to talk even more, guys, but I've got a call in about 15 minutes. But I really do appreciate you guys for contacting me and getting me on the webinar. Hopefully this has been very, very useful for you. You know, if you do need me for anything else, guys, just reach out to me on Instagram. You know, I'm always available to reply to you. Sometimes I'm a bit slow, but you know, it's because I've got a busy schedule. But if you guys keep messaging me, I'll be sure to reply. So yeah, Abdurrahman, I'll pass it back to you, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ali. Definitely learned a lot of points that, you know, that we haven't heard about in a very long time. Honestly, I've been on for 6 months and I haven't heard most of these things in a very long time from anybody. So thank you so much for being on call with us, and definitely shared a lot of new things. Definitely going to be implementing it off as well into our trainings as well. Thank you so much for being on call. And yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure's mine, man. Thank you for having me. And guys, once again, if you do need me for any other trainings, I've got a ton of them. So we can organize another time as well, where I can share a few things with you. But thanks very much, guys, for being very humble and you know, requesting support. That's really a characteristic of leaders, you know. So thanks very much, guys, and yeah, I'll leave you to it. Take care, everyone. Yeah. See you later, guys. Take care.